Hey, everybody, Off the Mic Sports Network here. Another edition of Off the Top Rope. On a lighter note, because a lot of outrage has come about because of the R-Truth departure. He was not released, but we'll leave it at that. Another, I guess you could call noteworthy elder statesman has been let go as Carlito on social media. Said his contract's up in 2 weeks. He said it'll not be renewed. On top of that, WWE is demanding I pay back the money they paid me for apparently, quote, stealing money from the company. I've had my lawyers look into it, and after reviewing my footage on Netflix for the past months, they suggested I pay them back the money. He said, all jokes aside, gracias WWE, and especially the WWE universe, los quiero mucho. P.S. I'll reappear again in another 13 years. Dios me los bendiga. Sorry for everybody who, my Spanish is not great. But this Carlito thing is really, honest to God, one of the crazier stories maybe in modern WWE history. This guy got a 2-year run in WWE off of one pop that he had in Puerto Rico. That's what happened. And I love Carlito, man. I missed him. I missed Carlito spitting apples in people's faces and doing all that. So let's be real here. There's not as much outrage about this as there is with the R-Truth situation, because R-Truth had been in WWE for almost 2 decades. He was there for almost 2 decades. And, it was kind of and Carlito really was more comic relief than anything, especially after he left the LWO and went to the Judgment Day. And he did some really good work, actually. But he really was just a guy. That's not to disrespect Carlito, but also in his late 40s, he wasn't really going to offer WWE that much. But he showed up in the Royal Rumble during COVID, the 2021 Royal Rumble in the Thunderdome, which was a really cool moment for him. And then, he had that surprise appearance in that Damian Priest Bad Bunny match, that street fight in Puerto Rico, which, honest to God, was one of the more incredible moments in WWE history. The pop that he got, the reaction that he received was unbelievable, and it made everybody want to see him again. And WWE, to their credit, brought him in. But I'll tell you where this whole thing went wrong. It was cool to see Carlito back. The minute that he came back and made his official full-time return at Fastlane in 2023 in Indianapolis as Rey Mysterio's mystery tag team partner, he got Def Rebelled. He got Def Rebelled. They redid his entrance music for reasons that I will never fundamentally understand. I understand that they've got a contractual thing, but when you have an iconic entrance theme like Carlito Caribbean Cool had back in the day, because I remember watching in the early Ruthless Aggression era when he was feuding with John Cena. He beat John Cena for the United States Championship his first night in WWE. Like, Carlito in his heyday was a dude, man. And they had a chance to maybe do something a little bit more with him, but I thought he was kind of dead on arrival from the get-go when they brought him back for that Fastlane. But that being said, this guy got paid for 2 years off of one reaction in Puerto Rico. That's the reality of this situation. So kudos to Carlito, man, like living the best life. He actually went over and, had a match for the Puerto Rico title in WWC the other night at the end of May, beating Ray Gonzalez. He won the championship there. So good for Carlito. He's still getting it done. He's got wrestling in his blood. His dad's a Hall of Famer. On a personal level, like I said, this guy was a big deal when he came to WWE back in the early 2000s. And like I said, John Cena did a ton for Carlito's career early in his career. And then you had that weird stabbing angle that they had. You guys remember Jesus? So, listen, I was thrilled when he came back at Backlash in Puerto Rico 2 years ago, but let's call it what it is, guys. Like this was never going to go anywhere beyond that. It was nice to see. He had a decent little run with the LWO. And then, like we got that iconic, video and gif of Santos Escobar. Carlito gave us some moments, and he had some weird lines. Some of them were kind of bordered on racial stuff that got a little bit problematic for WWE. but he has a good sense of humor about it, and I think he understood more than anything that this wasn't going to last very long. It obviously sucks in any case, like much like the R-Truth situation. Carlito, it's when you get up there in age and you don't really have like much really to offer WWE, because let's face it, the Judgment Day is about to break up, so Carlito was kind of just there. But again, I think what this really came down to is one thing that I really wanted to do this video about, and like you guys may say, like Carlito, not even close to what happened with R-Truth and the outbreak and the outpouring of support and stuff, and really fan outrage, which I think got a little bit over the line. But listen, Carlito is still going to be in wrestling. Wrestling's in his DNA, and he did an unbelievable job in that one reaction, parlaying that into a 2-year, really a 2-year contract where he got to spend some time on television and be a key part of a lot of crucial things going on in WWE. He was like, I mean, at some point he was going to potentially be on the bill to potentially work WrestleMania, but obviously that didn't happen and they ended up going with Andrade. But Carlito was an integral part of getting Dragon Lee out of that match. So like I said, it's not like Carlito, didn't do much in his time, but let's be real here. Like I said, this is really a remarkable, thing for a guy at his stage of his career, being, as he said, he was gone for 13 years. He was gone for 13 years, man. Like, shows back up in 2023. He hadn't been seen since 2010. That's wild that he's able to come back into WWE in incredible shape, by the way. And just off of one reaction in his home country of Puerto Rico in one of the better matches of 2023. Let's call it what it is. Like that's one of the better celebrity matches. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest did an unbelievable job. And then hey, he gets to work alongside a good friend in Rey Mysterio. Yeah, you can say what you want about the LWO, you can say what you want about the Judgment Day, but this guy was able to parlay it into something, and this is what wrestling, some of the good sides of wrestling that you can see, that people remember you. You're able to create great moments, and really, like I said, one moment in Puerto Rico in San Juan at Backlash 2023, like to me, like yeah, that match was incredible. But one reason why I remember that show, I mean, is not Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes shouldn't have main evented that show. One of that's going to be one of the great moments in WWE history is Carlito returning and being a part. And guys, Savio Vega was in that match, and that was insane in itself. But Carlito's return, and just because he was able to re-sign with WWE and be able to parlay that into extending his career, and who knows, maybe we'll be looking back on that and be like, hey, Carlito at some point, who knows, maybe he'll end up getting some sort of Hall of Fame recognition or something like that, because he had a good run. He had a good run in the early 2000s. Like I said, part of my childhood, the Ruthless Aggression era, was watching Carlito when I was a teenager, and like he was cool. No pun intended. He was cool. And maybe it wasn't the same thing. And like I said, I think really what did him in more than anything was not the association with the LWO, was not the association with the Judgment Day. They changed his entrance music. And this was one of those examples of Death Rebel just kind of ruining a good thing. So, cool that we had him back. I wish him well. Thank you for everything, Carlito. Who knows? Maybe we'll see you as a surprise entrance. But if they do that, please bring back the old entrance music, for the love of God. That's one of the main reasons why he got that reaction. So, I mean, it was Puerto Rico, but he's got an iconic entrance music. I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. But yeah, thank you, Carlito. Hopefully you got more apples to go spit in other people's faces. And and like I said, maybe we'll see you in 2038. That's 13 years from now. So thanks so much, Carlito. And thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.